So listen, I got 2 videos I want to check out today, but the first video, listen, I thought y'all were trolling. I thought people were trolling when I saw it pop up on my phone. Jake Paul versus Mike Tyson. And let me tell you why I'm not mad at it. A lot of people are upset, oh, Mike Tyson need to hang it up. No, he don't. If you still feel like you can get in that ring and do what you want to do, then by all means, do what you want to do. I can't knock that. Look at the success that the OGs and the older guys been having. You got the big 3 with Ice Cube. You got Cat Williams running a 4.940. Like these OGs and these older dudes is talking to you youngins and they don't care. They're telling y'all they can still do it. And I ain't mad at that. I'm not mad at that at all. Think about it. If you used to go play basketball at the basketball courts back in the day, it was young and old. And a lot of times, the older guys and the OGs was busting these young dudes up on that basketball court. So what makes you think they got to just give it up? I don't know. But let's check this out. See what's going on.
I don't know if someone's ever made me...
I don't care who you are. Standing in front of Mike Tyson like that still puts fear in a lot of people's heart. I don't care who you are. If you say it doesn't, you're lying.
Eat my words so fast. I mean, I just made my video on how the last couple of Jake Paul fights have drawn little to no interest, because Jake has essentially been out here fighting absolute nobodies who are far past their prime. And while he did knock one of them out cold, and he finished the other one within the first round, people really did not care, and it seemed like he was drawing less and less interest with every single fight. Now, in my defense, in that video I did say that Jake might have some juice left in the entertainment tank, but that he was going to have to go back to fighting people with much higher social profiles. I was predicting KSI, maybe Ryan Garcia, but with him now fighting the man who is arguably the most recognizable boxer on planet Earth right now, this will definitely drum up a lot of interest. I don't care if there is some...
Oh, for sure. For sure. For sure. Even the people who talk trash about it, who complain and say Tyson's too old, even all of them will still buy the pay-per-view and watch it. I promise you that, fam. Like, I'm thinking right now, I want to go to like a bar and watch it. Because you want to be amongst the people talking trash, the people who going back. You want to be amongst all that to watch this fight.
30-year age gap. I mean, you got a guy that was on Disney Channel stepping into the ring with an absolute killer.
My style is impetuous, my defense is impregnable, and I'm just ferocious. I want your heart, I want to eat his children. Praise be to Allah.
And that's something a lot of people are going to want to see whether you like Jake or not. This was just some of the initial reaction. Jake Paul's a good boxer, and Mike's obviously not in his prime anymore. Oh, you don't say. But if Mike loses, or this is a tie, then we absolutely know for sure that this is faked, or at least staged. I mean, I'm predicting right now that no one's going to get knocked out in this fight. I don't know if there will be a no knockout clause in the contract, but I just can't really see that happening. I mean, you got this guy who's really mad. He says, I said it once and I'll say it again. Jake Paul claiming to be a boxer while preying on retired combat sports athletes who have sustained careers worth of injuries is one of the most utterly pathetic displays of cowardice I've ever seen in my entire life. Mike Tyson is 57 years old. Stop encouraging this clown. You're a joke. Netflix, you're also a joke for promoting this as well. I mean, everyone here...
But you commented. You took the time out of your day to type up maybe 50 or 60 or 80 characters and comment. So, is it not a draw? It drew your attention.
He's fight has had to agree to get into that ring. And you know what their encouragement is? The money, baby. I mean, hey, if someone wants to toss me a cool million, they can knock me the fuck out. I'll happily lay my head on all the money that night. And at the end of the day, dude, it's really all entertainment. Like I said, the fucker was on Disney Channel. It's not like he was some trained athlete. And I think this is the most reasonable response to this announcement. I hate myself that I'm going to watch this. Because anything with Jake Paul is almost like passing by a car accident. You don't want to watch, but you can't really take your eyes off of it. I also thought this was hilarious. People were predicting this is how the fight was going to go.
Hey, listen, Punch Out, still one of the best games ever created, bro. One of the hardest games too ever created. But listen, Tyson still at his age, what they say, he's 57 years old. If you allow Tyson to get a good shot on you in that first round, maybe even second, depending on how good a shape he gets in for this fight, it's gonna be rough. So I would imagine the strategy, if this fight goes down, I still haven't seen a date confirmed, I would imagine the strategy would be to avoid Tyson in the first round, maybe the second, try to get him winded, and then try to win the fight.
Now, if this was back in the day, I mean, Mike Tyson might catch a murder charge. Like, let's say it was a celebrity back in the day, and he wanted to fight Mike. Oh, I think he would have made a point to knock the out of him. And here is the official head-to-head. You guys can see that beautiful 30-year age gap. Jake's got the 9-1 record against a bunch of milkmen and plumbers, while Tyson has the 50-6 against some of the greatest fighters of all time. I mean, 50 wins and 44 knockouts is fucking insane. You know, I'm a little bit too young to have witnessed Tyson in his prime, but my parents always tell me stories about, oh, you know, we bought the pay-per-view, we had the whole family over, everyone stayed up all night to watch the main event, and then you better not get up and go to the bathroom, because that was over in 12 seconds when Mike was around.
Yep.
And obviously Mike is not going to be no pushover. This guy still looks insane in his training footage.
Yeah, that's all of that is muscle memory, fam. Like, once you get him going, the only thing that Tyson has that's not in his favor is his age, probably, and his endurance. That's it. The power probably ain't what it used to be, but it's probably still there enough to, if it connect with your jaw, lights out, homie, you going to sleep till tomorrow. That's gonna, like, what do you mean? Like I don't understand that, people. Like, why do people think just because you get up and, man, please, you ever heard of old man strength? Yeah, all right.
I mean, this is a near 60-year-old man with insane movement. I mean, I won't lie to you guys, if Mike Tyson walked through my door right now and hit me with one of these combinations, I would die. He would send me into the TV and there would be no more tan Superman. There's just a look at the official event poster, and this is
okay, so we do got a date. Oh, live on Netflix, Saturday, July 20th. So they're giving him some time to get in shape. I wonder who his trainer is going to be.
Of a groundbreaking event with it being live on Netflix. I don't know if they've ever hosted a boxing match. I mean, as you guys can see per the Jake Paul announcement, they have 260 million people using Netflix right now, apparently including 500 million homes. Mike Tyson apparently has talked about the prospect of fighting Jake Paul in the past.
Jake Paul is obviously, you know,
he's beautiful. My family loves Jake Paul.
Could you fuck him up?
Oh, I'm so fucking easy. I would never. I mean, it's my family. Everybody loves this little white mother. When you see a white boy with balls, you know, I'm talking about from real, but like, you mother.
I mean, Mike, I would say that 99% of people out there are rooting for you to get the knockout, for you to bounce this man's head off the canvas once and for all. Of course, the KSI fans came out the woodwork to try and discredit this bout, saying 2 years ago Mike Tyson was using a cane to walk. Jake Paul should be ashamed.
Yep. How you doing, Mike? Good to see you, brother. You looking good, Mike. You're welcome.
He also posted up this news story saying, ain't no way Jake Paul fighting Mike Tyson, man. Mike Tyson is pictured in a wheelchair at the Miami airport, raising new fears for his health amid problems with sciatica, just weeks after he morbidly claims his death is coming real soon at age 56. I mean, you already know how I feel about KSI. I don't really think the guy has any morals. I kind of see him almost as a darker shaded Logan Paul. And the funniest part about this to me is if KSI came out and announced that he was fighting Mike Tyson, the guy who runs this Twitter page would probably jerk himself off to the news that night. I mean, seriously though, if you are over the age of 13 and you're running a fan account for another man, it's time to reevaluate your entire life. I mean, keep in mind, at one point KSI was lined up to fight this 40-year-old man right here who had a 3-20 record. And instead, KSI ended up boxing this guy, and here's how the fight ended.
Right here, I think. Right to the body. Right hand, right hook. Oh.
An elbow to the fucking jaw.
Right hand, right hook. What's up?
Now, to be fair to KSI, at this point in the match, he was absolutely whooping this guy's, but he has still failed to acknowledge this elbow altogether, and he runs around acting like he's the biggest, baddest guy in town.
I was getting up slowly because I thought they're counting because it was I felt the elbow. I saw the punch go past my face and then he hits me with an elbow.
What punch was it exactly? Was it left hook,
right hand? Right hand goes past and then he hits me. They have it all. It's gone viral. It's everywhere. Literally, I felt bone. Like he should be disqualified. That should go down as a loss. You can't walk up to someone in boxing and elbow them. It's not Muay Thai. It's not MMA.
So that's how he felt about getting elbowed in his jaw. Someone said watching Jake Paul do a Fortnite dance over an unconscious 60-year-old Mike Tyson. Nah, man, it can't go down like that. That cannot happen. It's in the contract. I don't think Jake Paul could check his chin either way, but either way, it's going to be very interesting to see what happens in this situation. You Jake Paul fanboys came for me quick. You said, oh, your video aged like milk. Where's the update? Well, here it is, guys, and I want to know what you think down below. Are you going to be hate watching this? Do you think it's about as real as the WWE? I mean, I just see it as yet another piece of good entertainment, to be honest. It's like watching that train wreck Love is Blind. You got girls out here calling themselves Megan Fox, gay guys out here gaslighting women. It's crazy. But either way, y'all know it's been your boy, the Tan Superman, and some other boxing news out here needs to be covered, so I'm out.
All right, so this next video is how the military's largest cafeteria feeds 4,500 soldiers in 90 minutes. Let's check it out.
These cooks are preparing 4,500 meals at the Slagle Mess Hall, the U.S. military's largest dining facility. At 60,000 square feet, it serves Army soldiers, Air Force airmen, and Navy sailors who train at Fort Sam Houston in San Antonio, Texas.
Daily, I'm preparing at least about 3,500 to 4,000, at least for breakfast. Our head count goes up for lunch, so we automatically feeding at least 4,500.
So that's some good pasta right there.
We need a balanced, nutritious meal. This is the powerhouse right here. So this is where we provide you those meals that is going to allow you to get up and be the best that you can be for that day.
Business Insider spent 2 days with Slagle staff as they prepared for
Everybody who's vegan is cringing right now.
the largest meal of the day, lunch, while following a color-coded system intended to encourage service members to make healthier choices. The 3 main courses are 600 pounds of ginger pot roast, 1,400 pounds of Bombay chicken, and 210 pounds of cheese tortellini with marinara. There's also an assortment of vegetables, short order food, and a salad bar that feeds 4,000 to 4,500 trainees in just 90 minutes. Personnel from all branches of the military train at Fort Sam Houston, many of them at the Medical Education and Training Campus. In 2013, the dining facility was named in honor of Sergeant First Class Wayne Slagle, a distinguished Army combat medic.
Are y'all seeing these plays? Like, did he not just say the healthy? Like, somebody bring me up to speed. Make me understand, like, how is this like a balanced nutritional meal? I'm seeing some of these plates go by and I'm like, jeez.
Thank you. Oh, yes, ma'am. I can definitely make my day. I come here about 3 times a day. It's included in my BS, so might as well. The experience is really cool. All the staff are very nice. I've built a bond with a couple of them, especially for being here for so long, so it's just nice to see those familiar faces here.
Slagle serves about 66,000 meals each week, about 35,000 to Army soldiers, 18,000 to Navy sailors, and 13,000 to Air Force airmen. All trainees are required to dine at Slagle for lunch Monday through Friday. To prepare the meal in time for 4,500 trainees, the lunch staff is broken into 2 shifts: the night crew, which prepares the food, and the lunch crew, which cooks, pans, and serves it. For today's meal, prep begins at 8 o'clock the night before.
Java and Teresa, of course, y'all know there's Knuckle. I saw it out there. Chicken quarters. I haven't seen the tortellini, I haven't seen the lasagna. I'm gonna go check on that, okay? So y'all do your thing.
Our overnight crew comes in, they cook off the ginger pot roast. It's not fully cooked, but they brown it and cook it off. That way, when I come in, that makes it easier to slice once it's cooled and everything from what they did. And then once we slice it, we go back into the oven. So it's like a whole process.
To prepare the ginger pot roast, the cooks start by unpackaging about 600 pounds of beef knuckle. They move it into pans, season it, and move it all into ovens to brown. While the beef knuckle browns in the oven, the cooks begin placing the chicken quarters on pans, so they're ready to hit the oven when the lunch crew arrives the next morning.
You got what chicken this is? 1,400 pounds.
Jeez.
Kind of a workout. Yes.
On the other side of the kitchen, another cook finishes boiling macaroni noodles for the pasta salad.
See, that's some good pasta right there. Good little pasta snack. Let it sit for about 10 more minutes, it should be cool.
While the pasta cools, the cook begins preparing salad for the salad bar. At the same time, cabbage is being washed and chopped in preparation for the calico cabbage dish. With the pasta cooled, the cook returns to the tilt grill to add in peppers, onions, and seasoning.
Wow.
It's then scooped into a pan and stored in the fridge. After just 3 hours of prep, the cooks move all of the food into the refrigerator for the next shift.
Okay. Well, no, I might need that for my phone.
The next day, lunch prep begins at 6 a.m. A cook seasons the chicken quarters before sticking them in the oven.
I ain't gonna lie, I expected it to be looking like bland. Like really, really bland type of food that nobody would probably want to eat. But nah, they actually back there doing their thing. They actually, I ain't gonna lie, it got me a little hungry.
While another slices the pot roast.
How long does it take you to slice up all the... Depending on how much you use, like an hour and a half, about 400 or 500 pounds.
Once it's sliced, the pot roast is placed back into the oven to finish cooking. In a 60-gallon kettle, the marinara sauce is made with 114 pounds of pizza sauce, vegetable oil, and an assortment of seasonings. Once the sauce is ready, it's poured over the tortellini. And placed in the oven to cook. With the main courses underway, 450 pounds of peas, carrots, and cabbage are added to the tilt grill and boiled. While more cooks pan and prep the remaining produce for the salad bar.
It's not really a challenge, or it's not too hard for us, because most of us have been here 10 to 15 and 20 years plus. So it's like we're in the motion of doing this already. We kind of already have this idea of, you know, I know how many soldiers I'm gonna feed. It told me we fed this much last night, so I know to project this head count for the next day.
In the hot kitchen, the chicken is removed from the oven, moved into serving pans, and topped with Bombay sauce. The chicken is moved into warmers to stay at a safe temperature until lunch, while the ginger pot roast goes back into the oven to continue cooking.
I've never met a person before that has not had a sweet tooth. But again, my key word is balance.
Cooks prep the desserts by cutting over 2,000 slices of cake and moving them into individual serving containers. Slagle orders over 1,800 cakes per week.
So our desserts that we provide here at the Slagle, they come in a multitude of combinations. Some are pre-prepared and some that are prepared in the facility. However, we try to cut down on the sugars and the fats, but more importantly, it's all about the taste. So if we can fool them and give them a great taste, then we have won.
In 2022,
You could tell. This ain't like your normal lunchroom where you just like, oh man, I ain't gonna want that mess. You could tell they back there cooking some stuff that'll at least taste decent. So yeah, I give him that. He right. You could see it.
Hall served 2.1 million meals.
It's not how much food we serve, it is what is our grocery bill. So our grocery bill is astronomical.
According to Slagle, the mess hall spends $14.2 million annually on the food provided to trainees for breakfast, lunch, and dinner, served 365 days a year. And managing that food is a logistical challenge.
I have dairy Monday through Friday, produce the same thing Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. And then I have my bread Monday, Tuesday, and then Thursday and Friday. So basically there's always something going on with what's coming in or what's going out.
The kitchen at Slagle has 10,000 cubic feet of refrigerator space.
It's a big freezer. I can probably hold to maybe up to $300,000 worth of food. But I vary about 187 to 200,000. My meats will be basically hidden back here where my pallets are. My breakfast items, sausage, pancakes, waffles. This will be all our greens, which is asparagus, green beans, broccoli, peas, corn. It goes all the way to that back wall over there.
As lunch nears, the staff prepares the dining rooms and moves the produce onto the salad bar. An elevator helps them move the food between the two dining room floors. The food is removed from the warmers and set out on the serving line. Outside, trainees begin to make their way to the mess hall. Typically, trainees are required to march into lunch in formation. However, on this day, because of an unseasonably cold Texas morning, trainees were permitted to arrive independently.
Instead of limiting us to just one item, it's cool to have a variety, especially throughout the week. It's not the same thing every week. Me personally, it takes me a little longer to try and figure out what I want to eat for today. But just going through the line, they offer us, I believe it's 2 proteins and then 2 sides. So there's just a different variety of sides. So sometimes it's hard to pick.
You want to try it? You got to try it.
I always do stop at the salad bar as well. Usually to try and add a little bit of extra protein, so maybe some eggs or some ham cubes to my meal.
Serving 4,500 trainees in 90 minutes is no small task. Slagle is broken into 2 floors, each with its own serving lines and dining room that feeds 1,100 at a time each, meaning trainees must eat quickly so everyone can be fed in the allotted time.
Most of the companies we have anywhere between 200 to 300 people. If you're closer to the front of the line, you get a little bit more time. If you're near the end, you don't get as much, but roughly 15, 20 minutes or so for everybody at least. And then, they want you outside ready to go so we can go back to class and, focus on our primary studies and everything.
There's 15 minutes? Oh, man, I'm crushing that in 15 minutes and letting it digest, unbuckling my pants, laying back. All of that in 15 minutes, bro. I mean, I don't refill my drink.
Specific calorie count that we're trying to hit, because we do not tell an individual that you can't come through the line again. However, it has to be balanced.
The menu follows a DoD-implemented program known as Go for Green, which encourages service members to make healthier choices. On the serving line, the food is categorized into 3 groups, each represented by a different color. Green for healthy foods trainees should eat often, such as steamed brown rice. Yellow for foods trainees should eat occasionally, like hot rolls. And red for foods trainees should eat rarely, like gravy.
If you was to ask me why trainees need so much food and why we have to provide the balanced meal that we do, it's because they're not at home anymore. They are not on the couch. They are out here training, getting it in, defending the country that we all love. And in order to do that, you got to have the spirit. We don't provide that, but what we do provide is the fuel and the energy that you need in your body.
As lunch comes to an end, trainees leave the mess hall to return to their training, while Slagle's staff cleans the dining room and prepares for dinner, which is now only 4 hours away.
You know what this also reminds me of? This reminds me of a cruise ship. How the cruise ship keeps going and go from meal to meal to meal and goes from preparing to prepping to all this type of different things that they do to make sure you have that food that's unlimited there for you.
And that's when they could probably escape, go to some restaurants that I'm not gonna name, and they're not looking for love, but they are just looking for a little bit more fat. You know what I'm saying?